Hello, this is James. Epic Yami has appeared in Duel World. It is time to farm him. It's kind of difficult to get him to appear. It says he's almost arriving for, kind of like half of the time that it takes him to arrive, that takes to get him to arrive while grinding standard duelists. It says he's almost arriving. All right. So it's difficult to get a lot of farms in on him with different decks. So in this video, I'm going to talk about 4 different decks, and a lot of them I've already used before and made videos on, and we're going to reference those throughout the video. We're going to go through 4 different decks, and the last one is we're going to go from free to play all the way up to pay to win. And the last deck that I'll actually use to farm him live is pay to win. But all of these have been proven, and I already have videos for 2 of the 4. So the first one, and the one I don't have a video for yet, is the Yubel farm. But everybody else has a Yubel farm. Can Yubel be used to farm Epic Yami? Absolutely. The only sticking point is, because he's in the DM, you can't use My Name is Yubel. You have to use something like Restart, right? And then these extra Yubels just become bricks, so you have to replace them with Sangans. Alright, so this is my personal Yubel farming deck that I made. Basically, it's just Yubel, and then you search Sangan, you search for the first form of Yubel, and then you don't use Fire Kings. You destroy with Decider, Disciple of Nephthys, and then Defender of Nephthys can destroy Sacred Phoenix, and then with this, it's a continuous cycle of rebirth and destruction. And before you finish, you have Matriarch of Nephthys. You can target 1 level 4 lower Nephthys monster in your graveyard, special summon it. During your next standby phase, Nephthys card is destroyed by a card effect and sent to the graveyard. So the turn before you actually want to go in on your final turn, you normal summon Matriarch of Nephthys. She's destroyed, special summon, and then because you've been gaining up life points with Ladybugs, you tribute summon the Ra, and you attack the game because Yubel has grinded his field down into nothing. All right, so that's a great free-to-play option. If you don't have Sangan, you can sub in Jar of Greed. Now, another deck that I've already done that is not Yubel and is probably accessible to most people is going to be Golden Ladybug Ra. So we have our Golden Ladybugs. We have 1 of this, 3 of this, 3 of this, 3 of this, 3 of this. What am I missing? Oh, and I think, I believe a Jar of Greed. And this is very similar. We're going to have our Cloudians. We're going to normal summon them. And then with these field spells active, you don't take any battle damage. And then you gain up the life points with Ladybugs. And you just keep normal summoning until you have the tributes for your Winged Dragon of Ra. And you can attack directly. In this case, he still has monsters, but they're in attack position, because nobody's afraid of just 900 attack and 500 attack. That would be silly. So for this, you can use Windstorm. Well, yeah, you can use Windstorm. You can use Draw Sense Water. You can use Life Point Boost Alpha, just anything that gives you extra survivability. And that's actually my first Epic Yami farming video that can be found right here. So those are our free-to-play options, and they are excellent. But I'm out of free-to-play room on farming Yubel. So if I wanna show the new spice, I gotta advance up the levels of the pay to win. All right, so let's exit without saving. All right, now we have so the next, so a pretty cheap deck is going to be 6 Samurais. Not 6 Samurais. Could you farm with 6 Samurais? Is going to be Mokuba with the Silent Swordsman farm. So Silent Swordsman farm. We have Silent Swordsman, Obnoxious Celtic Guardian, Shield Warrior, Gravekeeper's Vassal, 1 Union attacks, 2 Silent Sword Slash, Heated Heart, and Power of the Guardians, and Jar of Greed. So this is my Silent Swordsman farm deck that I made shortly after Yami Yugi was released. Video, proof, etc. can be found up here. I farmed him twice, no problem. And so here, this is probably a little more what you're used to. basically we have Obnoxious Celtic Guardian and Shield Warrior, and then we have Draw Sense Light. So we're going to draw Sense Light, our Silent Swordsman, tribute the Obnoxious Celtic Guardian and the Shield Warrior. Obnoxious Celtic Guardian is great because a lot of Yami Yugi's monsters can't just straight up can't destroy it. And then Silent Swordsman does two things. He sits on the field, he prevents the spells. Each turn you can get a spell negate, so that keeps you clear of the 1,000 Knives. And he also gets huge. Every single turn he just continuously gets huge. Gravekeeper's Vassal, and that's why we only have a single Union attack. And then since Silent Sword Slash is limited, we're not using Secret Pass. We're instead using Heated Heart for the piercing damage. And this deck doesn't hurt for the damage. So Heated Heart, piercing is plenty, and then you have Power of the, and then so Swordsman for about a turn he's still a little bit vulnerable. So we're using Shield Warrior, and in my old deck I used Noble Knight, Arms of Destiny, but Power of the Guardians is newer, more accessible, and generally better. And then here we're doing Jar of Greed. And if you only have one, you add whatever more Jar of Greed, but you have Draw Sense Light, so it's fine. But I wouldn't go into this with less than 2 Silent Swordsmen, because you do want a little bit of redundancy and sometimes the extra life crystals. Now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna show something very extra special, something very extra nice-oo. Okay, choose the cards. Cards choose the duelist. Since we are filming live, I'm gonna grab up the protection, extra life, extra card, and we are going to Duel using Sealed Tombs. Alright, so what's the reason for Sealed Tombs? So the reason for Sealed Tombs is he has a trap card. It's one of his dark magic trap cards. Anyway, when he can banish it from the graveyard, you can negate a face-up spell. And that's not just like continuous spells and whatever. Like, oh, wow. Terrible opening hand. That's not just continuous spells. Okay, well, I guess suddenly it's not so bad. That's not just continuous spells like, see, Stealth Attack. That's also spells like as you're playing them. Because it's a trap effect. It can be activated, real quick, like. Okay. Horrible. Horrible. Yeah, so it's a trap effect, and it'll negate your Union attack, and then you won't get over 10,000 damage. But with Sealed Tombs, he can't banish that trap card from the graveyard, and so you're safe. And if you don't have Sealed Tombs, you just use Skullmeister. So don't freak out about this skill. All right. So we have the Dark Magician, direct to attack, get the extra life. Again, that's an abnormally horrible hand. That's like really super suck. All right, let's get this. Let me just think about this for a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Alright, let's activate the Raigeki. And then that's all. Man, that's so terrible. Okay, can I get a tricky? Can I get a Silent Waifu? Perfs. Okay, perfs. Alright. So let's activate Spellbook of Secrets. So you can see we have a lot of box super rares from old boxes. We're using the Silent Waifu. And not a moment too soon. So let's go Spellbook Magician of Prophecy. Let's grab this Spellbook of Secrets. And let's special summon the Silent Waifu. You know what? Actually, something like Draw Sense Light with Skullmeister is sounding pretty good right about now. And I have to fight my meta reflex to click on the skill. Okay. Spellbook of Secrets. Yeah, let's thin out our deck. And let's not negate that. And let's grab this. Cool. And we're going to... Yeah, let's take this out. Let's take this thing out. Okay, so we used both of the crystals, but look, I have to film this live. He's really tough to get. Like, it takes a lot of resources to get him out on the field. Alright, so now let's go. Yeah, let's normal summon this boy. There's no card to be searched. And special summon the silent waifu. There's 2 spell negates. Very good. And we can actually proceed to the battle phase. Let's just end the turn. Okay. Alright. The tricky, where were you before? Anyway, so what you want to do is you have the tricky, and you discard the silent burning for the tricky, and then you have your silent magician all nice and packaged up there for you. Alright. That's what's supposed to happen. But Epic Yam doesn't feel like cooperating with us. Ooh, okay. Dark World Dealings. You can also use Dark World Dealings. No, we're not going to negate that. And we're going to discard this Silent O'Burning. Draw another Silent Burning. That's fine. Alright. Another tricky. Hiding at the bottom of the deck like a coward. Let's activate this Silent Burning. And let's add this to our hand doo-doo. Alright. We're going to end the turn. Discard this. And discard this dead Spellbook of Secrets. Okay? Alright. Breaker the Magical. Another boy that was hiding. Hiding from the girls, because they have cooties, I guess. Yeah, let's discard. Let's discard the normal summon. Right? And so since our attack points are so crazy, he's not getting any fancy ideas. And then let's just go. Yeah, let's just go one more. Let's just end the turn. And we're going to discard the tricky. Alright, very good. So let's do our union attack. And let's activate our sealed tombs. Right? And I normal summon Gravekeeper's Vassal. And so sealed tombs again prevents the dark magic something or other from activating in the graveyard. And since even though the attack gets so nuts, you do play all the cards from your hand. So you only have 3 cards in your hand. So you do need both union attacks. No. Activate the second union attack onto our Gravekeeper's Vassal. Stop asking me. And then we're going to proceed to the battle phase. And wham bam. Thank you, ma'am. Okay. Ooh. I was nervous for that one. It took about 20 minutes. No, longer. It took about like 30 minutes to get that Yami. So he's really like at the beginning of the event, he's like really hard to get out. Maybe it's because he gets stockpiled during the event. I think Konami's actually running a scam with the orbs because they let us have all the orb. They let us spend up the orbs for the EX the experience bonus event. And look at that, no Exodia cards, but we did get that Griffer in keeping with Yami Yugi farming video tradition and 2 gems. All right, and we have more than enough battle damage. We used the crystals, but the deck does work. That hand was just terrible. All right, I'm going to show you all the things we should have drawn when we want to show you the deck. But yeah, so we had the experience bonus, so the people are using up orbs, grinding experience, And then we have this, which I think if you want the epic Yamis immediately, like you're gonna have to grind a lot for him. Like maybe 30 to 50% more grinding than is normal. And I didn't actually measure that. That's just how I feel as a person that plays a lot of Duel Links. Anyway, here is our pay-to-win farm deck. It doesn't need the crystals, I promise. It is pretty dank. It is pretty fast. So if you have the cards for it, go for it. Alright, so we have 1 Silent Magician level 8. 3 Silent Waifus. So the tricky is, again, like I said, to discard the Silent Burning. You can have a, you can have a jank tricky, free to play, big quotation marks tricky. With Breaker the Magical, he does exactly the same thing. Tricky discards a Silent Burning, but with Breaker, you set it, and then Breaker takes the counter off, destroys it, and then you have Silent Magician. You have a package all ready for the Waifu, Spellbook Magician of Prophecy, Spellbook of Secrets. Whoever thought of box super rares as just draw fodder, but that's what they are. I'm going with 3 and 2 because the Spellbook of Secrets searches the Spellbook Magician of Prophecy, but then once he's out, we don't really care about searching the other one. So we're doing 3 and 2, and instead of one of this Spellbook Magician of Prophecy, we're using Dark World Dealings for more consistency. But if you don't have that, you can do another one. I mean, just you can piece it together. Obviously, the 3 Silent Burnings because we want to get that in the graveyard. That's how we search our stalling condition, double union attack, and a single secret pass, and a single Gravekeeper's Vassal. And once again, if you don't have sealed tombs, you can just use good old fashioned. You don't even need it all the time. It's not even really something that you need to worry about. The Dark Magician trap in the graveyard negating. You don't really need that's not a priority. So like you could just run this without Sealed Tombs and without Skullmeister. But if you want to be fully prepared, and you don't have Sealed Tombs, use the Skullmeister. So I hope that you have enjoyed this farming review of the 4 decks. Remember, Yubel, Cloudy and Ra, Silent Swordsman, and the Silent Waifu. I will have an Exodia deck up as soon as possible. Thank you for watching.